Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to the Video Game Fight School channel. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. Today, I wanted to comment on something that I've seen being pushed around in the community because, Gotham Knights has a lot of interest and many of the content creators around here really do have a very good grasp on gaming, the gaming industry, and especially the superhero side of things. So I wanted to just see if I could maybe provide an angle that we probably need to weigh in order for us to be able to come to some kind of a resolution as to the game and how it's going to be released. So before I jump in, just wanted to ask for your support. If you would love the content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button or hit the like button. You can even hit the dislike button if you don't like it. It will tell me what to do better and how to bring you better content and serve you in this community. So Gotham Knights releasing on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X, S, and PlayStation 5, including the PC. So that is a lot of optimization. That's a lot of work that the development team is going to be doing. Optimizing a video game is a huge challenge and a lot of work. In fact, sometimes it can be to the last second where many game development companies are still optimizing things before the game actually is released. But in today's digital age, there's a little bit more leniency. They can have a game go gold and still be working on making sure that the builds are without bugs. The builds are actually working well. The builds have good performance, lack of frame drops, effects, all those things being put in are not causing a lot of issues. So let me see if I can try to set this up. Because I'm a huge Batman Arkham fan and because of the way Epic Games has structured a lot of things, I decided to delve into learning game development and what it entails. And the engine of choice that I've decided to actually learn is the Unreal Engine 4. This is the engine that Gotham Knights is being developed on. So when it comes to a lot of what I'm seeing from this gameplay trailer, I can tell you that, I kind of know the process that goes into it. I'm not saying I know how to do it, but it is something that I'm learning. And from what I'm seeing that they basically have this game down to a very good point. You see, many trailers, usually back in the day when, gaming was still weird, where they'll bring you this high-tech trailer and high-quality trailer, what those things were rendered inside of the game. Those things basically were designed for marketing purposes. I think that what we have here in this particular game here in Gotham Knights is, yes, for marketing purposes because it was high quality to some extent, but it was not necessarily outlandish. And I think when you're playing Gotham Knights at a very good quality, you're going to achieve this picture or even better once the game is released. I don't think there's any issue. Now, if you're playing on the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One, there might be a very good or noticeable difference because of optimization. Optimization is basically where you're trying to get your game to play and have it at least play in every machine that is compatible with. And this is a very huge task because if you think about what goes into optimization, then I think it will make more sense why the PlayStation 4 versions and the PlayStation 5 versions and the Xbox X and Xbox S versions will all be different in a sense. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that all of the work you've put in, animations, meshes, basically all the physical assets that you're seeing, lighting and effects, and a whole bunch of other things do not basically break the system, because sometimes you can't basically handle it if you actually, look at the way game development flows. And so these things are going to continue to be, worked on and put in place in order to have the game perform very well on other systems. And I think right now that Gotham Knights is most likely in a phase where they're cleaning up the optimization more than anything. I genuinely believe the game is going to be coming out in 2021. And yes, there's still systems, there's still a lot of things that may be going on in terms of development, but when it comes to the framework of the game, I think that is already settled. What they have shown you is part of the game. In fact, the director even says it in this gameplay trailer that you are watching basically gameplay or a mission sequence that goes into a specific time or hour, gameplay hour duration of Batgirl's story. He mentions that. So this is a chunk, a piece of the game. Now, it goes down to how they intend to actually do the game, how they intend to actually, upgrade and deal with all of the stuff that the game basically has. Now, here is something to put the mind of a lot of the concerns at rest. There's what in development world, there's what they call development kits. Development kits basically are these things, basically kind of consoles or whatever it is they are. And this is just from my own vague knowledge, but I think it's kind of accurate from listening to developers speak about it. And it's basically a console where you can actually use to test your game as you're developing it. So the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and S, in my opinion, had likely gone out to a lot of development firms a very long time ago for them to actually start, putting their production to work, for them to actually start to deal with all of the, the issues that may arise, or maybe making sure that their game works and performs well on those consoles and their prototypes. I think having this information and having this particular resource for a long time is something that the development teams basically leverage so that when their game comes out on release, it's not necessarily going to be a problem. But then again, because of the way the old console generation in terms of the PS4 and the Xbox One generations have gone, you've actually had multiple machines that do have multiple complexities as well. So if you think about it, we can go from the Cyberpunk 2077 saga and say this is more than likely the challenge in terms of optimization. So remember when Cyberpunk 2077 developers delayed the game to December, they basically said the biggest challenge that we've had is basically optimizing this game for about 9 different platforms. And if you think about it, the PlayStation 4 has multiple consoles as well as the Xbox. And then to come to think about the different PCs and different machines, different GPUs, different CPUs, different setups, and how you're going to do all of that, I think that layer of complexity is what's probably going to take the next few months to get just right, where the game performs well, so that the person who's playing on a last generation platform doesn't feel like they're not getting the best deal that's possible out there. So this may be the case. It may also be the case that in terms of developing a lot of the other platforms, making sure that, yes, they can leverage the quantity of consoles that are already available in the market, basically the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, they worked on those optimizations, and then the PS5 and the Xbox Ones are on the back end, and the ones that are actually being optimized for right now, basically upgrading textures, making sure that, they're bringing all kinds of different scalings and making sure that they optimize the consoles, the new console generation versions, so that, even though the console generations are stronger, they're not too strong in that sense. I know many might say, well, but it's kind of better than a PC. Well, that's not the case. PCs do things differently than your PlayStation 5 and your Xbox Series X would, but at the same time, you have to make sure that you leverage the hardware, push it to the max, but not break it, so that it follows all those rules. So when it comes to all of these technical details, I think this is where we are in the production of Gotham Knights. I genuinely believe that the game has basically come to a place where we can, pretty much say, yes, it is actually a very cool issue. Now, one game that I did see how much of a difference the optimization basically made was in Spider-Man Miles Morales. When Miles Morales Spider-Man was released, it was released for the PS5 and the PlayStation 4, but those who bought it for the PlayStation 4, you got a free upgrade. Now, I didn't purchase it. I rented it from a video store because for some reason we have a video store in my hometown, which is closing very soon, very sad, but they had a copy. So I rented the PS4 version and I played it on my PS5, where I upgraded to the ray traced 60 FPS version. And the quality was very different. There was basically a night and day difference from playing the PlayStation 4 version and the PS5 version. So this kind of optimization most definitely is going to be the challenge. Now, the thing though with Spider-Man Miles Morales is they only had to deal with one platform, one ecosystem, that was the PlayStation 4. Whereas the challenge with a game like Gotham Knights is going to be dealing with everything else. I think this is what's going to add a little bit more workload to the optimization of Warner Brothers Games Montreal. But it is not without a question that they're going to do a good job. I think they're going to do a very decent job. They've optimized games as well for, different platforms. Maybe not to the extent and complexity of this, but at the same time, I believe that they're going to be able to do a good job on this. But for now, we're just going to have to be patient. I know people are speculating that the game might receive a delay. I don't think that delay is going to be coming because the game is not produced. I think the delay is going to be coming because optimization is a pain in derrière, if you get my French there. And for those who also saw the way Cyberpunk 2077 had some issues, I'm sure optimization also got them. But again, let's not, compare Cyberpunk 2077's production with this particular game. There are different standards. There are different experiences. There are different factors for both games, so we never really know how all of those could have played out. But I wanted to make this video and basically say this is the reason you're going to be getting multiple versions of the game. This is the reason why I feel fans need to understand that, because it's very critical that they do understand that. You cannot play many games on a PlayStation 4 at high frame rates and high quality, especially a game as ambitious as the Gotham Knights game, with everything that the game is going to have in it, with all of the different parameters, just think about all of that put together. I think we have to really understand that this is a necessity in order for this game to be successful. But that's pretty much my video. Thank you so much for listening to the video. Thanks for those of you who are participating, commenting. I know some of you are having, requests and saying, hey, can you do this video on this character? I'm digging into the comics. I want to make sure that I'm able to cover as much pertinent information as I can. So hang in there, be patient with me. I'm excited just as much as you are, and I'm happy to even get my hands on some of these comics, which I haven't necessarily paid attention to in all these years. So I appreciate you guys for even pointing me to the comics. It's been a wonderful journey and experience learning from the literature of the Batman universe as well. Talk to you all soon. Take care. Peace out.